Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag. You are here with your favorite host, Deshane, and I am proud to announce to you our new sponsor for the show, of course. As you can see, I'm dripped out by Reliving Clothing, and yeah, definitely you can check them out on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, man. I'm just gonna leave the details down here as I always do, and yeah, you can definitely cop yourself something nice. Reliving, of course, they got me with the new range, and I'd definitely like to thank those guys for making me look good, man. They make me look good. And I do notice that it's been a while since we've been away, right? But we are in the process of rebranding, so yeah, definitely let's keep it going. But in today's episode, of course, I am very, very excited to react to our under-20 squad that has been chosen for, well, the new upcoming competition. So let's just go ahead and look at it, right? It was, of course, announced by coach Raymond Mdaga, right? And yeah, let's take a look at the squad, man. Let's take a look at the squad. So first, they have Mosama Semola from Via Sports. There's Fletcher Smith-Lowe, who plays for Benfica out in Portugal. We have Takalani Mazamba, who plays for Kaizer Chiefs. Duane Bennett for Wits University. Neo Rapu for Supersport United. Aseko Tiwani from Sekhukhune United. CV Wenkwali from Cape Town Spurs. Mbekezeli Mbogazi from Orlando Pirates. Tylen Smith from Stellenbosch. Waylon Reneke from Norwich, out in England. Khosa Manyama from Cape Town City. Lazola Maku from Supersport United, Tuto Mujanafa from Feyenoord, out in the Netherlands, Mabena, the Mamelodi Sundowns Stars, Fundo Vilikazi from Kaizer Chiefs, Dokunmu Sifumba from Cape Town City, Ayanda Sishuba from RC Lens out in France, Langeli Lepili from Stellenbosch, Chandre Campbell from Club NXT, that of course is Bruges out in Belgium, Tabang Mathangu from Supersport United, Sivio Mahididi, Mahidi from Supersport United, Kudrano Letagu from Mamelodi Sundowns, Shaquille April from Cape Town City, Luke Bartman Bura, of course we're all familiar with him from Cape Town Spurs, of course, Offense Hosana from Kaizer Chiefs, Hopelang Taunyana Kaizer Chiefs, Cameron Scott from Glasgow Rangers, Aaron Stock Rydell from Ike in Sweden, Homle Mokekana from Mamelodi Sundowns, Bennett Mokoena, Mamelodi Sundowns, of course. Michael Dokunmu makes his returns and he plays for Vitesse Arnhem out in Netherlands. Katleho Hansen from Copenhagen out in Denmark. And Gennaro Johnson, who's currently unattached. So that's the squad that they chose for the under-20s. What do I have to say about it? It's a good squad. It's definitely a good squad. What I do like is there is a little bit of continuation, right? There are a few of the players that we are seeing here that, were out there the last time, your mabenas and so forth, right? I believe your Dokunmu who was there also. There's quite a few. Let's check that if we didn't miss anyone, right? I don't think we missed anyone per se. Yeah, we didn't. So it's a good squad, man. It's a good squad. There are a lot of the players that were there when we were playing with the under-17s, right? And in that competition, I think we did really well. I think we did really, really well. Although I must say though that there are a few players that I think are missing that were in the previous competition that aren't here now, right? And that of course includes players like Wallace, right? So Wallace was also played with Waylon Reneke at the back, and they were the defensive pairing. And I actually really liked that defensive pairing because Reneke is very technical. He's very good on the ball, very, very intelligent defender. Wallace was also just brute force, bro. Right? Brute force, really, really big guy, and yeah, just gets the job done as a traditional defender. So I like the additions that we have, but I would have wanted Wallace there as well, right? Just to see if we can continue with that defensive pairing, especially if those boys already know each other, they played together before, and I think they could definitely do the most right there. And then there's another player that's missing, Gabriel Amato as well, the midfielder. Not really sure why he's not there, but he was one of the standout players, especially in the midfield position for us when we were playing at the under-17 Afcon, right? So I'm not really sure why he's not there, but he's definitely one that I really would have liked to see, especially because of his performances. Not really the fanciest of defenders, of course, of midfielders, excuse me. He's very how can I say, he does the job very well. He does basic things, but he does the job really, really well, right? Great passing range, hardly loses the ball, you know, very, very aware in terms of how he plays. Hardly looks like he has a lot of time on the ball, but that's just because of how away he is. So I definitely think that we are going to miss that aspect of Amato. And the last player that I can think that we are missing, of course, is Vicky Kawana, who was, of course, the spearhead, our number 9, when we were playing at the under-17, you know, at the under-17 Afcon. So yeah, it's also disappointing, man, because he also played really well. I think he scored in almost every game he played. He scored a brace against Zambia, I believe, when we played. Scored against Nigeria, scored against Zambia as well. And he was, Vicky is one of those that I feel like he's a very well-rounded striker, right? He has a lot of power, he has a lot of speed, has a really, really good shot on him as well, right? And that's what makes him a threat. Sometimes even if the game is not necessarily going well, but because of the threat of his power, the threat of his speed, he doesn't give defenders a chance to breathe, you know? And he's always there in the 18-yard area, ready to score a poacher's goal. So yeah, I think I would have liked to see Vicky, man. He was really, really good, and he just brought one of the best aspects of our team, because our team was really, really balanced. When I really think about it, Raylan Reineke and Wallace were really solid at the back. Really, really good, those boys, how they were playing. Amato, we mentioned, in the middle as well. Michael Dokunmu played, but they had to discover his position. So the first game he played, I think it was played directly in the midfield, and didn't do too badly, right? Didn't do too badly, but he wasn't as effective as it could be where he was placed, right? And then the second game was placed on the wing, where he even scored a goal. His technical ability was being used closer to someone like Mabena, right? Which we need to combine those sort of players and make sure that they're able to work together. So yeah, they did a really, really good, awesome job there. Mabena, we just mentioned, also was probably like man of the match a couple of times, and yeah, he kind of like took the game at the scruff of the neck, especially when our team seemed nervous. He was the guy, you know, find Mabena, let's see what he can do, and he always did something, right? So I think it's really, really good. The fact that, you know, the continuing of Mabena is there. We're all excited to see him, of course. And yeah, I think it's disappointing not to see the not to see the players that we mentioned. But at the same time, I do also notice, I do want to give credit to the fact that I think we're going in the right direction. As I saw, we had Wolo playing out in Portugal, of course. Ayanda Sishuba, which is a player that I think all of us were crying for. The whole of South Africa has been crying for this kid. I'm glad that he got called up. Although, he's already playing for the Belgium under-20s, right? And he's the captain, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that it might be a little bit more difficult for us to pry him away from Belgium. But if we want to, I think we might even have to, take him to the under-23s. And I do want to see him play. I'm just thinking about the thought now of seeing Mabena, Dokunmu, and Ayanda Sishuba playing at the same time, and it's a scary thought. It's an excitingly scary thought, right? So that's what's taking over my thoughts right now. But I think in order to convince Ayanda, we might have to move him to the under-23s, because he's already playing first-team football. Granted, he's more of a substitute, comes from the bench type of player, but he is in the conversations and in the mix of the first team, So we might have to move him to the under-23s to convince him, possibly. Yeah, that's the big and the small of it, man. So yeah, I think I'm very excited to see those. Wakatla Hansen, who plays for Copenhagen, he's here as well. So it's really good to see him. I think we would have liked to see Mebo Vuyo Buthelezi as well, and some of these are the newer players. So it's a chance for them, of course, to, impose themselves, show us what they got. But yeah, I'm impressed with the squad. I do like the fact that they added a few more overseas players, as I said. I think it does bode well for us, especially because if you notice what some of these other African teams have over us is the fact that they are able to combine the European and their local teams, right? But when it comes to the local teams, I think South Africa has some of the best, the cream of the crop on the continent. So if we are able to capitalize on that and, just mix it in with the players that we have been doing, I think we'll definitely do a good job. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our video for today. Thank you so much for coming through. please don't forget, of course, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. And I would definitely like to see you in the next video. We will, of course, be looking at the under-17s, right, that got chosen, right? And they have a lot big shoes to fill, because this current under-20 squad, of course, was the under-17 squad that played at the Afcon, and they outdid themselves. Mabena, Dokunmu, as I mentioned, Amajita, the guys that we mentioned as well. You know, those are the guys that, you know, I'm really thinking that, wow, it would have been nice to see. There are a few overseas players as well that I think we would have liked to see as well. Lucas Jetten has a South African passport. He plays for Ajax. He's a right back, right? He's a wing back, I believe. Definitely would have liked to see him as well. There's players like, who's this? Gabriel Charlton as well. He moved from Liverpool to Huddersfield in order to, you know, fast track his way to the first team. He's definitely one I think we could have also called up as well. You know, he's always mentioned the fact that he wants to play for, you know, Bafana and his national team. And players like Aaron Stuck-Riddell, I'm happy to see him also. In an interview, he did mention that he really wants to play with Mabena. He likes Mabena, and, you know, he's going to get his opportunity. So I'm glad that players like that. Especially players that are patriotic and playing overseas are being given an opportunity. So, especially because we have such great people. The South African Foreign Legion, I'm sure shouting them out, Prince Obayeni, Makonko as well. All of these guys have been doing such excellent work, especially keeping, and myself. But they've been doing such excellent work, and we've been doing such excellent work of keeping our tabs of players overseas. So the fact that all of that work is now like paying fruition in this manner is always really, really good. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for coming through. I'll see you all again next time. And yeah, don't forget, just help yourself, you know, a nice show from Reliving, and relive your dreams, guys. I'll see you again next time.